Hello and welcome everyone. So in this video we are going to discuss the fifth chapter, replication from designing data intensive application. So as the scope of this video we are only going to cover leaderless replication. So if you want to understand single leader and multi-leader replication, please refer to my previous videos. So let's begin. So let's understand what is leaderless replication. So far we have discussed what is single leader replication and what is multi-leader replication. In both of them, the client sends the write request to one of the node and it is up to the database system to copy those writes to the other replicas. And in both of them, the leader determines how those writes are processed in what order, and then the follower applies those writes in the same order. Whereas in the leaderless replication, there is no concept of leader. That is, any replica can be allowed to take writes from clients. So in most of the leaderless implementation, the client directly sends the writes to several replicas, or there is a coordinator node which might send writes to the replicas. But unlike leader, the coordinator node does not enforce a particular ordering of the writes. So let's see how and what happens when a node is down. So let's assume that you have a database with 3 replicas and one of them is down. So in case of leader based configuration, that is single leader and multi-leader, if the leader is down, we might have to perform a failover. But in case of leaderless configurations, there is no concept of failover. We do not have to do any failover. So let's see why. So what happens in case of leaderless is that the client sends the write to all the 3 replicas in parallel, and the 2 available replicas accept the write but the unavailable replica misses it. So let's assume for now that it is sufficient for the 2 out of 3 replicas to acknowledge the write and then send the 2 OK responses back to the user. Thus the client will ignore the replica which missed the write, and it will accept the 2 OKs and will consider the write to be successful. So now imagine that the unavailable node comes back online and the client starts reading from it. So any writes got missed when the replica was down. So if you read from the stale node, you will get stale values. So to solve that problem, when a client reads from the database, it doesn't send request to one of the replica. It sends the read request to many nodes in parallel, and thus since one of the node is a stale node, it might get different responses from all the nodes. Thus version numbers will be helpful here to determine the latest value. But eventually the unavailable node has to catch up on the writes that it missed. So currently there are 2 approaches for it. The first one is read repair and the second is anti-entropy process. So in the read repair process, when a client makes a read from the several nodes in parallel, it can detect any stale responses via the help of version number. So it detects that the version number in the unavailable node is lagging behind. So what it will do is it will update that unavailable node which is lagging behind with the values from the other replicas. But this approach works well only for values that are frequently read. The other process is anti-entropy process. So in some databases, we have a background process that constantly looks for differences in the data between replicas and copies any missing data from one replica to the another. So unlike the replication log in leader based replication, this anti-entropy process does not copy the writes in any particular order. So therefore there might be a significant delay before the data is copied. So without an anti-entropy process, values that are rarely read may be missing from some replicas and thus have reduced durability, because read repair is only performed when a value is read by the application. So let's see what are the quorums for reading and writing. So in our previous example, we considered the write to be successful even when we were able to write to only 2 replicas and one replica was down. So how far we can go beyond this? So if we know that every successful write is guaranteed to be present on at least 2 out of the 3 replicas, that means at most one replica can be stale. Thus, if we read from at least 2 replicas, we can be sure that at least one of the two is up to date. So if the third replica is down or slow to respond, we can return an up-to-date value. So if we generalize this concept, so if there are n replicas, then every write must be confirmed by W nodes to be successful, and it must query at least R nodes for each read. Thus, W plus R should be greater than n. If we take an example where there are n replicas and W and R are equal to 2, that means we need at least 2 nodes for the write to be successful and 2 nodes for the read to be give an actual valid response. So it means these W and R are also called quorum reads and writes, and they are the minimum number of votes required for the read and write to be valid. Commonly, n is an odd number, typically 3 or 5, and W and R are equal to n plus 1 by 2. But in cases where we have few writes and many reads, we can have W equal to n and R equal to 1. So that means the reads would be faster. So in quorum condition, that is W plus R greater than n, it allows a few of the things, like if W is less than n, so we can still process those writes if some of the nodes are unavailable, and if R would be less than n, then we can still process the reads if the node is unavailable. So let's take an example here. Let's suppose we have 3 replicas and we have kept W and R equal to 2. So here we can tolerate one available node for the reads and writes to be processed. Let's take another example. If n equal to 5, that means there are 5 replicas and W and R are equal to 3. That means we can tolerate 2 unavailable nodes. It means that we would need 3 nodes for a write to be successful and 3 nodes for the read. So let's see by this example. The write is being written to the replica 1, 2 and 3, whereas read is being written to the replica 3, 4 and 5. And here n equal to 5 and write equal to 3 and read equal to 3. So here in this case we know that replica 3 is the common node which will at least return the updated value. So let's move to the limitations of quorum consistency. So if you have n replicas such that W plus R is greater than n, so you can generally expect that every read will return the most recent value that is written for a key. This is the case because the set of nodes to which you have written and the set of nodes from which you are reading, there will be an overlap between the two. That is, among the nodes you read, there must be at least one node with the latest value. So often R and W are chosen to be greater than n by 2. That is, they are chosen to be the more than the majority. So, but quorums are not necessarily majorities. It only matters that the set of nodes which have been written and the read operations must overlap in at least one node. So in some of the quorum assignments there are flexibility. So we can also set W and R to smaller numbers such that W plus R will less than be n. So this will break the quorum condition. So in this case, reads and writes will still be sent to the n nodes, but a smaller number of successful responses is required for the operation to succeed. So only after the number of reachable replicas fall below W or R nodes, then the database will become unavailable for writing or reading. So however, with this W plus R greater than n approach, there are still edge cases where we will read the stale values. So let's see some of them. So let's assume if 2 writes occur concurrently, so it will not be clear which has happened first. So in this case, the only safe solution will be to merge the concurrent writes. So we can pick the winner based on the timestamp or last wins write. Let's see what happens when the writes occur with the read concurrently. So in this case, the write may be reflected on only some of the replicas, and it will be undetermined whether the read returns the old value or the new value. The next possible scenario can be if write succeeded on some of the replicas but failed on the others, and overall succeeded on fewer than n replicas. and also it is not rolled back on the replicas where it succeeded. So this means that if a write was reported as failed, subsequent reads must not be returned from those nodes which have the successful write. So if a node carrying a new value fails and its data is restored from a replica carrying an old value, then the number of replicas storing the new value may fall below W, thus breaking the quorum condition. So there are various limitations of this quorum consistency. Thus, quorums appear to guarantee that a read returns the latest written value, but in practice it is not so simple. The parameters W and R allows us to adjust the probability of stale values being read, but it is not wise to take them as the absolute guarantees. So now let's see what is sloppy quorums and hinted handoff. Databases with appropriately configured quorums can tolerate the failure of individual nodes without the need of a failover. They can also tolerate individual nodes going slow because requests don't have to wait for all the nodes to respond. They can just return when the W nodes or R nodes have responded. So these characteristics make the databases with leaderless replication appealing for use cases that requires high availability and low latency. But however, quorums are not as fault tolerant as they should be. A network interruption can easily cut off a client from a large number of database nodes. So in this situation, it is likely that fewer than W or R reachable nodes remain, so the client cannot reach a quorum longer. So in a large cluster, it's likely that client can connect to some of the database nodes during the network interruption, but it might not connect to the nodes that it needs to assemble a quorum for a particular value. So in that cases, the database designer faces a trade-off. So let's see what are those trade-offs. So is it better to return the errors to all the requests for which we cannot reach a quorum of W or N nodes? Or should we accept the writes and write them to some nodes that are reachable but are not among the N nodes on which the value actually lives? So this approach is sloppy quorum, that is, writes and reads still require W and R successful responses, but those may include nodes that are not among the designated N home nodes for a value. So once network interruption is fixed, any writes that one node temporarily accepted on behalf of the another node are sent to the appropriate home nodes, and that is called hinted handoff. So thus we see sloppy quorums are not actually the quorums but an assurance of durability. So let's summarize what we have studied in this video. We have looked at what is leaderless replication, what happens when the node goes down, and what are the approaches of an unavailable node to catch up. We have studied the quorums for reading and writing and seen the limitations of quorum consistency. Also, we have studied sloppy quorums and hinted handoff. Thank you. Do let me know in the comment section below if you like the video. This will motivate me to prepare more such content. Please like, share and subscribe.